Folks, welcome back to the channel. Doug with Stacking Investments. Out here at the truck in the driveway. It's overcast out here, so I didn't bring my whole collection out here. In this video, I want to talk about my thoughts on rethinking how I collect and how far I want to take some of my collections. Especially when it comes to, if you watch my videos a few days ago, I talked about I had an 89 Carson City. It was a VF 35, and I also showed an MS62 1893 Carson City that you could flip a coin as to whether it should be considered proof-like or just stay at the grade and not get proof-like. I mean, that coin was just absolutely beautiful. Videos and photographs don't do that coin justice. You literally had to see it in hand. And both of those coins are sold. I made a few dollars flipping those out. I wasn't too concerned about the 89 Carson City as far as trying to keep that for my collection, because I laid it down next to my raw. And again, that's a coin flip as to whether mine would pull the very fine 35 or if it would drop to very fine 30. It's so close. It's just nice having a graded one to set next to my raw one, and so I could get an actual grade in mind on that one. But when it comes to the 93cc, because of the value of that coin, I really wanted to keep it. If money was no object, or I wasn't worried about it, I would have upgraded my VG10 here, which I did a video on, 1893 VG10. Nice looking coin. But that MS62, just a awesome coin. I mean, it looked as good as far as, like, this is a proof-like, and that 93 was every bit as good as this one is. I got another proof-like here. I got an 80S MS63 proof-like, and that 93 Carson City, if you go back and look at the video, it looks just as nice as that. It should have had the proof-like detail on it. But that coin in particular got me rethinking my whole what I was going to do about upgrading my collection. I had intended to start next year going through my collection and trying to find better examples, and starting with my worst looking coins in the collection and trying to upgrade those. Some of them I probably will, as long as they're lower value and not extreme like the 93 Carson City is. But it just opened my eyes, having that coin and trying to flip it. It's something that I realized after I had got the coin, and actually both of the coins, something most people don't think about. Yeah, everybody, there's nobody out there that wouldn't say, oh, I'd love to have that coin in my collection. I mean, it's just a beautiful example. But you got to look at reality. How many people can afford that 93 Carson City and MS62 at this price? At the prices they're bringing nowadays. That just puts it out of the ballpark for the majority of collectors. Do I fault somebody for spending the money and have one in their collection if they can swing it? You know, as long as they don't mortgage the house or, charge it on a credit card and whatever, and have to pay that debt off. No. If you've got one or you can afford one, by all means, run out and buy that. Buy that 62, 93. MS62, 93 Carson City. By all means, if you can afford it, go out and do it. But what reality set in for me is, with my collection, that if I ever have to sell for medical emergency or I want to buy another piece of property, or I have to raise funds to, and it requires me selling off some of my coin collection. That one particular coin and trying to sell it showed me the reality. I take that coin out, I show it to a few people, and mostly showing photos of it. Most of the people I talk to, oh, I love it, but I can't afford it. There was only 3 people that I know in a network of people, and my what I call clients, or the ones coming to me at the flea market buying coins off of me. There was only 2 or 3 that I know of that would have the cash to buy that coin. The rest of them, oh, it's nice to see it, and I'll never see another one. That's why I titled my video once in a lifetime, once in a lifetime coins. Because if you've owned one, you'll probably never own another one. The average collector, and it was a joy for me to have that coin, or both of those coins, for the 4 days that I had the one, and only 2 days. I had the 89 Carson City for 2 days. I got that on a Friday, and I had it sold on a Saturday. And then the 93 Carson City, I sold that on Monday. Pretty much, I think I released that video on Monday, but that coin sold on Monday. So, but it really opened my eyes. Like, how elaborate do I want to make my Morgan date mint mark set? How far up do I want to go? Because if I go too high, then I'm going to have a harder time selling it, because there's going to be less people that will be able to afford the collection, or that will be able to afford individual coins if I have to break it down to sell it to maximize my profit potentials. I'm limited to options. I got to find somebody with the money that can shell out for those high dollar coins. That's one option, but how long is that going to take? Number 2, I could list it on eBay, which is going to eat me up in fees, and you never know how long it's going to be listed before a buyer buys it. And then, of course, you have the risks and all that involved in it. They may get it and then just turn around and return it to you because for some reason they don't like it. Who knows? There's all kind of possibilities there. Then you've got the 2, along with eBay, you've got Great Collections and Heritage. There again, you're going to be hit with fees, and then you're at the mercy of who's on, who's interested, who can afford the coin, and what they're actually willing to pay. Well, if you send your coin in at the wrong time, and there's like 5 other ones that may look better than yours, or maybe a grade up or whatever, you may not get the good bid. So, you could wind up getting less money for it. The next option, which I include eBay, Heritage, and Great Collections all in the same lump, because you're auctioning it off, or you can buy it now on eBay, but you're pretty much your 3 auctions. I put them in the same category, because you're waiting and you're hoping you're going to get a good price, and then the fees are still going to kill you. The next option is sending it to, either taking it down to one of my local coin shops, or sending it up to Daniel. I would favor more sending it up to Daniel, and because he's seen the collection. I have made upgrades since he evaluated my collection. But that would be my third option if I couldn't find somebody to shell the cash out, because I would have had super high, a super high grade. I'd had an MS62 93 Carson City in the collection. I limit potential people I can sell it to. And yeah, you want to have the best coin, and it adds value to your collection. But on the flip side, that coin's going to be much harder to sell in the long run. You're going to have less people on it. Will I get more money for that coin? Yes. obviously. But there's more people out there that could afford this coin. There's more collectors out there that would be thrilled to have this coin. Same thing with my 93S. I did upgrade this from a G4 to a G6. But even this coin is, G6. The average collectors out there, they can't even afford this coin in the G6. It's just out of their price range. So, but so is even if you drop down to a Poor 1 or the Fair 2 or AG2, whatever I forget. I think it's Fair 2, and then AG3. Even those three grades, most collectors, the average collector out there just can't afford the coin. So here again, even though this is low grade, I'm limited on how many people can afford this coin. So this coin is actually going to be harder to sell to a private collector, to get my maximum value than this coin. I'll have more eyes on this coin and people wanting to buy my VG10 Carson City than I will have this. Oh, they're going to love to see it. They're going to love to look at it. Oh, wow, I've never seen one. I've never actually held one. But they can't afford it. And that's a shame. So, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. This is my slab collection that coincides with my album collection because I prefer them raw. I have 4 blank spots in the album. One of them is for the 81 Carson City, and that's because I have this example. I pulled my raw one out, sold it to my girlfriend for her collection when I got this MS63 Cameo, this 84 Carson City. So the 84 slot is empty because I have this. And then these 2 slots are vacant in my album collection because I have them slabbed. But it's just that one coin has changed my perspective on how I want to collect. I still have my raw 89S in its slot, but I have this one, which is you can argue because of who the holder is, but AU53, even if you drop back to AU50, it's better than what I have in the current slot in my album. I've got a 89O MS63, and this is a PCI. Regardless of what you think of the companies, this coin overall is better than what I have in my collection. So I'm keeping it slabbed for now. I'm not going to change the slab type or crack it out. It doesn't do me any good. But my thoughts are, I need to upgrade my common stuff. Like this ADS 63 Proof Like and a Rattler. I need to upgrade my common stuff that is reasonable. Maybe, even this one, 81 Carson City and MS64, this is still affordable to collectors. You lose like my girlfriend on her income. She would have to save, she'd have to put money away for a year to buy this, and there's no way she's going to do that because she'd lose interest in coin collecting. But technically she could still afford it if she wanted it bad enough. It would just take her a while to save up. But even your average collector, a lot of collectors are going to struggle to come up with the money to even buy this coin. So it's making me rethink, how far would I like my whole collection to look like this? Oh, hell yeah, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Would I like all my Carson Cities to look as good as this? Oh, hell yeah, who wouldn't? You're not being honest if you say you wouldn't want your entire collection to look as good as these. You're fooling yourself. Even this, MS63 in a Rattler. Grant 86 common, but it's a slabbed version. What I got here? 86S. MS62. I'm happy with that. Could I go a couple grades higher? Yeah. Do I want to? This is lower on the priority than some coins. I have a few coins that look like this in the collection. They're more on the common side. I will probably upgrade those, $100, $200 coins, get them up respectable looking, and $200 for a coin is, for a Morgan, is not a hard hit for most collectors. So I will focus on bringing my commons up to low MS status, or maybe 63, 64, maybe 65. I've got some 65s in here somewhere. 63 EU. Yeah, I think I showed this one. My 87's at MS65. Common, affordable coin. So I will try to take my collection. I have a lot of raw ones that are, they look this good. But I'll try to bring those up. But when it comes to the key dates, the harder to find dates and mint marks, you know what? I'm not pushing to get, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 coins in my Morgan collection. Would I like to? Oh, hell yeah, who wouldn't? But just the thought of, who am I going to sell it to in case I need to raise funds for, like I said, a medical emergency, or vehicle repair, or buying a piece of property. Who am I going to sell it to? How fast could I liquidate it if I needed to? I can liquidate this pretty quick because there's a lot of people that can afford this kind of coin. When it comes to liquidating this, it's going to take a little longer. On that one. This one is going to take a while, because I'm going to have to find somebody with the funds to be able to, they not only have to have the funds, they have to want the coin too. So, just food for thought. It's like, I got, when I show my barber collection and I show doing the minor upgrades as I find them, I've got a well circulated, but I stated when I was doing this collection, I don't care about grade. I don't care about condition. As long as I can read the date and I can see the mint marks on the back with clarity, I don't care if the rims are worn down. I don't care if the obverses are rubbed down really, really bad. I specifically had in mind that I just wanted an example of each year and date, year and mint mark. That one, look at that. The back of that one's really rough. This one here, I don't care, because I have an example. What is that? That's the 93S. I could care less what the coin looks like. I have one. This collection, that's all I'm worried about. I've had some commenters throw off on it. Oh, you just got these junky coins and everything. Well, so what? I personally don't care. This is as far as I'm willing to go. Would I like to have nice, pristine, high-grade examples? Well, yeah, who wouldn't? But for me, this is just not this collection is not a priority. The only priority on this is to have an example of every year and every mint mark. That's all I'm concerned about. I could care less about turning that album into coins looking like this. Same way with my barber quarters and my barber dimes. I could care less. I want an example. And I think that's something that some collectors get, or some people get jolted by. It's like, oh, well, you got to have, MS64 or better, or the collection, it's just not worth having. It's not worth fooling with. Okay, well, if all you can afford for all your coins are high grade examples, well, hey, more power to you. there's a lot of collectors out there that can't afford it. They can't afford that MS62 93 Carson City, but they can afford this. If they really, really want an example of a 93 Carson City, more collectors can afford this coin than they can that MS62. So that's my thought. I know I go against what a lot of the belief in the community is about, your coin collection and everything, but for me, it's yes, I want the highest grade. I want the best coin possible, but reality set in. There's limits of how far I want to take this collection, and it's simply liquidity of the collection when it comes time to, or if the time comes around that, hey, I've got to sell this because I got to raise money for this, that, or the other, whatever it is. Now I'm not gonna dispose of the collection for something I don't absolutely have to have. It's gonna have to be something that there's just no other way for me to raise the money, and the money has to be raised. Whether that's a medical emergency, vehicle repair that's just going to be more than the average typical repair, or I may have to just buy another vehicle altogether because the one I have it's not worth sinking the money. If I'm going to sink that kind of money into it, I might as well just buy another vehicle. It's one of those things. So just my thoughts, just my ramble. Let me know what you think down below. I got to get this in back in the house, back in where it goes. Feels like it's going to rain any minute now. And I will see you on another video.